Hello, everyone. In today's video, I have Anjali Rangan with me. I have known Anjali through Instagram for many, many years. I think I came across her calligraphy work when I started doing calligraphy myself. And this was what, 2015, 16? I don't remember now.
Yeah, 2015, 16, I think something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Anjali does both English and Arabic calligraphy. She's a Malayali, but she's based in Saudi Arabia. So, the reason why I brought her here today is she is my very first coaching client. I think she sat for my coaching sessions, one on one coaching sessions in September or October of 2020. And I am very pleased as a coach to see how far she has come since then and the kind of work she's doing. So I thought it would be nice to have her and talk a little bit about her journey, how things were before and how things are now, where she's headed and all of that. So Anjali, could you give us a brief introduction about who you are and what you do?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Anjali. So, like Neelu said, I'm a calligrapher. I'm formally trained as an architect. And I think I've had this inclination towards art since my childhood, which is kind of why I was in the architecture field. I practiced architecture for about a year. But then, I wanted to do something related to art, like that was what I was more into. So then I started, I would do like portraits and things like that whenever I had some spare time. So it started like a hobby. And like around 2015, I started doing calligraphy. I started an Instagram page, which is the page I still have. I just renamed it. Back then, it was the letters of an architect.
Architect, yeah.
Yeah. So at first, it was mostly just scribbles. It was I would just see videos online and try to replicate those works and just practice whenever I could, find time. And yeah, and then I met Neelu when she was running PPS UAE. Yeah, that's when we started following each other. And I think it was in 2017 that I joined your team as a design
Design.
team member.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Remember the
I remember
stamps?
being very excited about it.
You remember the stamps we created?
Yes, we came up with those cute little cacti and things like that for journals.
Fun
Yeah,
times.
journal stamps.
Yeah. Fun times.
Yeah, it was. And
Uh,
I also really liked how when we were working as design, when I was in your design team, like the projects you gave each month, the themes, like it really pushed me to try new things and new themes. Yeah.
we in the art field used to call it design team, but now as a marketer, I'm like, it's just content creation, right? Just that we
Yeah.
didn't know back then it's content
Yeah,
creation.
actually, yeah, true.
We were creating content to push sales,
Yeah,
and
true.
but in the art field, it's called design team.
Mm.
Quite the growth or the
Roller
journey
coaster,
we've had.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Yeah, I was
Anjali,
really excited to get those, art supplies every month.
mm, I had a lot of fun coming up with themes and packing those boxes also. It was customized as per the different member and different
Yeah, yeah.
catering towards all of your strengths so that you can show what you
Mm,
can, with those
yeah.
products. Anyhow, these
Mhm.
days you're doing live events and quite a lot of them, like one after
Yeah.
the other after the other. So, um, how did you get into the live events?
How I got into them. Yeah, this is something I get asked a lot,
Oh.
actually.
Mhm.
So, I would say it was basically through my Instagram. Like my Instagram has been my strength, it still is. I think I get at least like 50% of my on-sites enquiries come through my Instagram. And the rest are from my website. And yeah, I think a few are from my website, I guess maybe like 25%, and the rest is through like word of mouth. But I think the first few events were through like Instagram. Like they search for, Riyadh calligrapher or something like that, and then that's how they find me. I think putting out all that content on my Instagram really helped me out, and also like having a website because they find that this is a reliable person or something. You seem more
Professional.
valid when you, yeah, professional when you have a website. So that was actually something that I got from your coaching classes. Like I remember the first time I attended your coaching classes, I remember I was just doing these workshops, online workshops,
Yeah.
like on Zoom.
You're not
Yeah, that's
you were
when
not
I,
into live events. Of course, that was also during COVID period, so there were no
yeah, yeah.
happening. That's
Yeah, so we were just, finding ways to do things from,
home.
without getting out, obviously. We were at home, stuck at home. So we were
Yeah.
just trying to still do, things that we're passionate about while we're still at home. So I was doing these workshops, and I remember you had signed up for my workshop. I think it was a Procreate workshop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and then
had signed up for quite a few just to support people around. Like
I,
there was another artist whose ink, alcohol ink workshop also I had signed.
okay, okay, okay. Nice. Yeah, and then just after that workshop, I think that was my first time as well. I don't know. I felt like, okay, I'm not ready for this. I need some, proper coaching before I get started on this again. And then I decided I will, I wanted to sign up for your workshop, I mean, your coaching program. And you guided me on like how I should go about it. Like, also, you told me that, I should, yeah, I wanted to be doing actually those Skillshare classes, but I felt like I wasn't there yet. So then you told me like you could start with YouTube videos, maybe, put out some tutorials. And I was very hesitant to like actually have my voice in the videos. I
Mm.
was like, I felt very weird about that. But then I started with like short clips. Then I started doing like full tutorial videos on YouTube. And then I remember messaging you about it and saying, oh my God, this is like, I feel like I've crossed over something that was holding me
Mind,
back.
mindset
Yeah,
blocks, I would say.
yeah, yeah. So and then yeah, and then I feel like that also like really helped me to in the to get to where I am now, because I feel like all these things are there on my Instagram. And like when clients when they look for you, okay, so first of all, like I've never actually reached out to any client from my side until now. Like I've got all the projects through either word of mouth or my website or my YouTube or my Instagram. Like the inquiries have come from the client side. So I feel like all these things matter. Like if you just put one or two work out on your Instagram and then you're asking someone like, oh, where can I get live work? It doesn't work, because you have to show every aspect of for example, in my videos, because my conversation or audio is there, like the clients are able to make out how I would be able to converse. For live events, it's not just your art that matters. It's also like the way you interact with people, your social skills,
Mm.
the way you speak, the way you look, the way you present yourself,
Mm.
everything. It's like the complete, the whole thing has to be available for the client to access. So however you can put your work out there, your profile out there, it's all very helpful because that helps them make the decision. So you really have to have a lot of work on your socials or your websites, like a wide variety of, for example, if you're doing an English calligraphy, just putting two posts of English calligraphy out there is not enough. They need to
Yeah.
see if you can do like a large format text, if you can do on really small surfaces, large surfaces, metal, customization of bottles. There's a lot of different things that you do at on-site events. It's not just, calligraphy on paper.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're specialized in one thing, then that's fine. If you just do engraving, that's the only thing you do, and your profile just has engraving, that's okay. But I feel like, you need to have a lot of different things for the client to be able to see.
And you
And
also have to like be active in the sense that if somebody comes to your Instagram, your last post shouldn't be from a month or 2 months ago.
yeah, yeah, yes,
You have to
yes, it has to
actively,
be like updated.
yeah,
Yeah. absolutely, yes.
I've also noticed, Anjali, when you started out with the live events, the way you were presenting yourself, and now the way you are at the live events, like when you share
Mm,
photos of yourself from those events,
mm,
there's a remarkable difference in the way you present.
yeah.
So I'm not just talking about the physical appearance or what you're
Mm,
wearing, but you
mm,
look way more confident now than you
yeah.
did when you started out
Yes, that
with your
is
live
true.
events.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Like, how has that been like when you? I think a lot of times when people are starting out, they want the right client and they want to be paid for their work and all of that. But there is also, like you said, several mindset blocks that can get in your way. So, what did you do anything actively to get past those mindset blocks, or did it come with just putting yourself out there and practicing?
Yes, it was mostly with practicing. I'll be honest, I'm still nervous before every single event. Like
I
my
don't think that
husband,
goes away
he's like
completely.
so done with hearing this. Like I'm like, oh my God, I have this event today. I'm like nervous, and he'll be like, you say this every time before every event. And then when I get there, like the first half an hour is done, and then I text him, okay, now it's fine. Now I feel okay.
Mm,
So I'm always nervous, but I do feel like, initially I was very hesitant about like interacting with people. All that was a bit difficult because we're not used to like, meeting like 5, 10, sorry, not 5, 10, it's like 50 or 70 people in a day
yeah,
and, speaking to everyone. I mean, you can't just be sitting and doing your work alone. You have to interact with everyone. You
practice
have
that.
to talk to them. You have to get to know them. Plus, you also meet a lot of the same people at different events,
Mm,
so it kind of becomes like they become like friends to you as well, so it's like so then there is this socializing that happens, so you need to have energy for both that and for your work. And I feel like it just got better with time, but also the practicing, because I was not that confident about my work, even though like English calligraphy is absolutely something that I'm very comfortable doing. But even with that, the very first event that I had was actually for Formula E. So I was doing like these names, customizing the names on bottles. So I had no idea what to expect or, anything like that. But so with each event, like you realize what are the roadblocks you may face, what all things you need to be prepared for. And then with each event that I did, I kept making these like notes on like, all the things that you need to be prepared with, your list of items to take, and also what are the issues you may face. So you have a backup plan. And also, of course, the practicing. With Arabic calligraphy, I think after 1 year of doing live events, only then I started with Arabic calligraphy. So I was very nervous about Arabic calligraphy the first time because I'm very new to the language, and new to the calligraphy as well. So that is something I still practice even now. English calligraphy, I don't actually practice that much. I feel bad about saying that, but I feel like I've gotten to a point where like I have my own style and I can just kind of mix things up. But Arabic calligraphy, I still do practice whenever I can, whenever I get the chance. And if I have not practiced for a while, it still like, makes me very nervous at events. So I feel like the practice is very important. And also when you like attend more and more events, you kind of know what to be prepared for, because each client is different. The venue is different. You never know what kind of seating you may get.
yeah,
Sometimes the table is too high, the chair is too low. Sometimes it's outdoors, it's freezing cold, or it's very windy.
very good. Okay. Yeah, so you
So,
were saying that even the weather can be against you sometimes. It can
yeah,
or it can be windy.
yes. So like there was one time I was at this tower. It's called the Facilia Tower. So they have a globe, and the event was right below that globe. And oh
Mm.
my gosh, it was like in October or November or something. Like nobody had any idea that it's actually that cold at that time. It was freezing cold, and like my hijab pin, which was here, by the end of the event, it was over here. It had like rotated 180 degrees. It was that windy.
And it's
And
very
like everything.
difficult, right, to write, like to use your hands when it's cold.
Yes, when your hands
Mm.
get numb after a while.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Calligraphy in itself was already tiring when you have to do it at a stretch.
Yeah. And then there's yeah, these factors as well.
So,
So
what I've understood, or to summarize what you just said, you have to be open to new things if you
yes.
want to do better at live events, and
Mm,
also to upskill. Like you
yeah.
were already good at or great at English calligraphy, but you also started doing other things like Arabic calligraphy, engraving
Yeah,
on
yes.
bottles, and even
Yes.
illustrations.
Yes, even illustrations was that was actually something very unexpected because I never thought that it's something that I could even do. I mean, I have done a few like pencil portraits back in, I don't know, when I was in college or something, like way
Mm,
before my wedding. I used to do it like just for my family and friends. It was
mm,
like something I did for a hobby, and it was something that I took hours to do or maybe days because
mm,
you take your
mm.
time when you're doing it at home.
Yeah,
For live events, it's not the case. You have to do
yeah,
things really quick.
fast. Yeah.
So, like my first client for live illustrations was actually Louis Vuitton, and
Mm,
they reached out to me, and I had a heart attack because I've never done it before. A, and B, it's Louis Vuitton. It's like such a huge brand and something I couldn't even have dreamt of ever working for. But then I knew, like, I didn't want to miss out on the opportunity and I thought I'd give it a try. They asked me for a few samples. I made the samples and I felt like, okay, this is something that I can maybe do. And I had like 2 weeks time before the event and I
okay.
just practiced like crazy during that time. I
Mm,
was sketching like digitally and traditionally whenever I had the time. If it was only possible to do on the iPad, then on the iPad. If I was able to sit down and do it on paper, then on paper, and I practiced. And what I realized is that actually all those years that I had been doing watercolor paintings, even if it was just flowers or leaves or whatever, all those techniques I could use in like fashion illustration. So
mm,
I feel like whatever you're practicing with, it does not go to waste. Even if you like, I feel sad sometimes. I mean, not sad, but I wish I could get to do more of like botanical paintings,
mm,
things like that. Uh, but because I had been practicing it for all those years and it's something I love to do. But just because, I'm not doing flowers in
in that
particular right
sense.
now,
Yeah,
yeah, but those skills translate to this. Like
yeah.
whatever you practiced on, it's not going to go to waste. It's going to be
Mm.
useful at some point or the other in the art field. So
But
that is
bravo,
there.
I have to say bravo for taking the risk and saying yes to the opportunity. Instead of saying, "Oh no,
Thank
I
you.
can't do illustration," you actually are like, "Okay, no,
Yeah.
let me give this a try," and
Yeah.
that led to more and more events, right? Because then I
Yes.
remember seeing the first illustration. I don't remember the brand, but I remember seeing
Mm.
your post, and then I
Mm.
remember seeing it again and again here and there.
Yeah.
So good
Yeah.
on.
And then I think after that, it became like a trend here. Like they, like all the clients started feeling, "Oh, okay, this is a good thing, not just calligraphy, let's all try illustrations." And then like it
Mm,
kind of just, became a big thing from then. Like everyone started doing illustrations. So it's like very popular now.
mm.
Mm.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't have much of an idea on what's trending in the art field because now I've moved to something different. So my focus is on that these days, but good
Yeah.
to know.
Mm.
Um, Anjali, is there something you can, like any insights you can share in terms of pricing for live events? Things to keep in mind.
Pricing. Pricing for live events, I feel like you should check with the artists in your particular city or country and get an idea. It's important to have a network because here as well we have a network of calligraphers, the ones who do live events, because usually you end up getting at least 3 4 inquiries on the same dates
Mm,
during peak season, like during
mm,
Ramadan. Those are when it's peak season here, Ramadan or Eid.
mm,
So of course you cannot take up all the work on the same day
mm,
because the timings are also the same most of the time. So
mm,
you always have like your colleagues or artists who are doing the same thing, and we keep
mm.
like referring each other for the dates that they are available. Okay, you could check with my colleague, things like that. So it's important to be a part of a network. Like you cannot be like, okay, I'm gonna do this and I don't want to know what anyone else is doing. uh I can see your son.
I told him not to appear on camera. Sorry. Yeah, hiding and going to the kitchen.
So cute. He's like trying to hide. Yeah, so we are always like in touch, not only in Saudi. I feel like even some of the artists in Dubai, we are like constantly checking up with each other on like the pricing and things like that. So we know like base, base amount. This is the
Mm,
range that we charge from for calligraphy. This is the range for engraving, and of course, we charge a little more for engraving than we do for calligraphy because obviously the equipment is expensive. You're using so many burrs, at an event,
mm.
things like that. So engraving is a little more expensive than calligraphy, and illustrations are a little more than that. So yeah, we just like
But that's, I mean, I'm really pleased to hear that you not only have a network of calligraphers, but like you are collaborating and you're collaborating in a really good way. Um, you are passing on inquiries to one another, so you're not like, no, that's my competition, so I shouldn't pass it on
mm,
to them.
yeah, no such
Um,
thing. Yeah.
yeah, no such thing. And plus, you're also openly discussing the price, so you guys have sort of set a benchmark for other
Mm,
artists to follow as
yes.
well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So because we don't want it to be that, uh, we don't want the market to come down as well.
Mm,
So then we make sure that everyone is charging
mm,
on the same level. Yeah. So that way there is no unhealthy competition or anything as well.
mm.
Like even for the clients, okay, everyone is charging the same. So they get to like choose whoever is available or, whoever fits their needs.
Yeah, they can choose based on your skills or your portfolio rather than
Yeah.
based on the price, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, as well. Yeah.
Cool. So Anjali, one last question.
Yeah.
The Anjali I met or I coached in September, October 2020, and the Anjali I am seeing in front of me right now. There is a remarkable difference for me, but for
Mm,
you as an artist and as a uh, mom business owner, as an entrepreneur who is making money through art, a lot of people think that art is not something that we can make sustainable income from, but you
yeah.
are showing the world that it can be done. Um, can you tell me what are the changes that you have seen in yourself and what do you think are the reasons behind those changes or improvements?
Mm, what are the changes? Basically, uh, well, back then, like the time that I took up your coaching, I would say I was hardly making anything from my art because A, I didn't have a proper direction. B, I did not know how to price at all. I know that now because I am like in this field with, proper paying clients.
Yeah.
So I know that, even now I do get customization orders or small orders and things like that. But I only take it up if the client is ready to pay me for my work, my time, like which was not the case back then. Like I was so desperate for a client that I would do it for literally
You would do
peanuts.
any work. Okay, now you
Yeah,
have learned to say
any work.
no.
Yeah, now I know, and plus I know that how much people are willing to pay for this work, and also like art is not a necessity, it's a luxury. That is something that people don't understand. The clients, some customers sometimes try to make you feel guilty about it, like, oh, why are you charging this much? I mean, this is not something that you can't live without. It's not like rice or flour or something like that. I mean, you don't have to get it if you can't afford it.
Yeah.
Don't get it. That's it. So it is a luxury, and I think artists should understand that and value their art and their time, especially moms, because our time is more valuable.
Mm,
We are taking time off our lives, which we should be spending with our children or, playing with them or whatever. Instead we are choosing to go to work. So that time has to have that value. So basically, yeah, like I was saying, knowing our worth, knowing our value, that has really helped me to like make the decisions later on. I remember that there was an inquiry I got before my very first actual on-site event. I had gotten an inquiry and I had reached out to you. I hope you remember. Yeah, I was like, do you think, if I charge this much, it's okay? and you were like, Anjali, considering your skills and your talent, I think it's still very less. And I was like, really? Will someone be, willing to pay that much? And then it took me like another 6 months to actually get another inquiry, but I charged like, way more than what I had quoted you back then. And I was glad I did, because uh, they happily accepted it, and they were okay with it. And the first time, even though it didn't work out, the for the next event when I quoted higher and they accepted that, it was kind of an eye opener. Like, I realized that my skills do have value. There are clients that are willing to pay so much for art, for my calligraphy, which was something that nobody thought is ever going to have, it's not going to bring much, or it's not going to be of much use other than something that I did for a time pass.
Mm.
So yeah, that was an eye-opening a point. And
Are you still charging the same? Sorry to interrupt. Or have
No, I've increased a little. I've increased a little over the years, yeah. And yeah, and then what other changes? And yeah, I have become more confident, and yes, I think a big change I feel as an artist is that I used to have this very stingy mentality when it came to art supplies earlier. Like, I would save the brush markers and keep the brushes from fraying and things like that. But now it's like, first of all, I know that my art can support, I mean, whatever I make from my art is able to support the supplies or other investments that I need to be the other purchases that are need to be made for this, what is the word? I mean, I can invest back into this with what I make in this itself. So that has been actually a big relief. So because of that, I don't mind, using the best paper for practicing,
Mm.
which is something I have read over and over again, and in videos by artists as well. Like, when you practice, don't use the cheap stuff. Use
Yeah,
the best stuff, because it boosts your confidence as well. Otherwise, there's a chance that you may give up
yeah.
earlier, seeing, oh my God, even after this much practice, my work looks so horrible.
Mm.
Obviously, because you're using cheap paper, using cheap paint, so all that matters. So I feel like that stingy mentality is now gone. Like, I don't mind if the brushes get frayed. I know it's okay. From the next gig, whatever I get, I can purchase another set of
Yeah.
this. So that has
And
changed,
the
and also
money,
like,
it's like the extra money that you started making because you learned to quote higher is
yeah,
helping you your business in various other ways also. It's not just the
mm,
income, like the
yeah,
influx of money coming in, but it's also like teaching you that it's okay to spend on
yes.
things that are
Yes,
valuable.
yes, exactly. It's made a mindset shift, I feel like that is something I'm always surprised at. When I think of myself, like, oh, the old Anjali would never do this. Yeah, so that is there. And
About
yeah, I have become a lot. Sorry.
no, because this thing sort of reminded me of another aspect that comes with more money, which is time freedom. So,
Mm,
as a mother,
mm,
uh, you are saying that on-site events is your main source of income,
mm,
but you're also getting other inquiries, right,
mm,
for
mm,
custom orders and all of that. But
mm.
you're able to say no
Yeah,
because um, you are making enough from
yeah.
the on-site.
Yes,
Plus,
yes.
you know that your skills are worth a certain amount now,
Mm, mm.
which also
Yeah.
means indirectly it's giving you more time as a mother. Like
Mm,
if you were
yeah.
still, what I'm trying to say is, if you were still in the position where you were when you came for my coaching session,
Mm,
um, you would still be accepting those little orders and doing
mm,
more work and feeling burnt out because you also have a child to take care of.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
now, because you're charging higher and you are getting better clients, you have the freedom of saying no and getting more time to yourself or time with your family as well.
Mm,
When you go from point A to point B in your business, how it affects all the different areas of your life as well as your business is also very visible in your
mm,
case. That's what I'm
mm.
trying to say.
Yeah.
And it's good to see. So, Anjali, before we wrap up, is there anything you would like to add?
Well, yeah, I would like to add that I'm very grateful to you for all the guidance you gave me those 3 years back, because even now, like a lot of people reach out to me asking like, how do you get these live events? How do you reach out to clients? And how do we make ourselves more presentable, or how to showcase our work basically. So I basically tell them all the points that you told me back then. I like summarize it, and like I tell them, have a portfolio, have a website, have all your work on Instagram, have a good profile. So I type out like the summary of these points, and then I also add like your copy paste your profile link. And then I like tell them to reach out to you. I say like, okay, she was my mentor, or she was my coach. So she, got me started on how I can do all these things. So I tell them like sign up for her program. Even if you don't sign up, you still follow her. There's like a lot of, there's a wealth of information basically on her Instagram. So just by following her, you can benefit a lot. So yeah, I tell that to anyone who reaches out to me even now. So yeah, I'm very grateful to you for everything you shared with me back then. I remember I still used to keep messaging you even when we were not on the live sessions also. Anytime I had any questions, I would just text you and ask you, Neelu, I have this doubt, what do you think? And you were very helpful. And I think I'm also very grateful to my Lord, to the Almighty, for all the blessings He's given me, because honestly, like I said, I haven't really reached out to anyone from my side. All the opportunities have come to me, and each time an inquiry comes, I'm very grateful, just to Allah. And yeah, so I feel like the past 2 years have made me a lot more grateful in general.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah.
Mm. All right. Thank you so much, Anjali, for taking time out of your day and coming on to share your journey as an artist and as an art business owner. For those of you who are listening or watching, you can reach out to me at Neelu. Neelu at neeluandco.com is my email. You can reach out to me there for any inquiries about my coaching sessions. I help business owners like Anjali, whether they are artists or from any field really, to scale your online business in such a way that you do not miss out on your time with family and your children. Thank you again, Anjali. I'm so happy that we got to have this conversation. So
Yeah,
many
me too.
great pointers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So good catching up with you again.